don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome to this Sunday fun day. Sunday episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Christopher H. Bilbrey. Welcome. This is episode 337. We are coming to you live Sunday evening, November 24th, 2024. That means with our official countdown, we are 38 days until January 1st, the beginning of the new term, which for those of you that have struggles doing math as I do, that means we are 37 days away until the end of the year. 37 days till the end of the year, and amazing how that works. It means we are 38 days away until the first of the year. We are also 57 days away until either the single most glorious thing in political happenings happens, or the single worst thing in political happenings happen, depending on which side of the aisle you sit on. It's going to be great either way for me. As someone that likes to watch politics unfold, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Welcome. This is the Political Spotlight. We do cover local, state, and national political goings on right here, generally 5 nights a week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're normally here at 9 p.m. Eastern. Hey, we were here on time tonight. Imagine that. If you could do us the thing that you do when you're on YouTube or Rumble or all of the other things, subscribe if you haven't, like if you do. If you're watching live, comment to the side. If you're watching later, comment down below. And above all else, share the show with everyone you know. All right. So a couple things I want to get out of the way here first, right up front. It's a holiday week. I don't know really what that means. It means in government, everybody's pretty much done working already. We will see a very skeleton crew of people in this week. So if you're looking to get government things done, if it can wait until the 2nd or 3rd of January, your best bet's probably to wait till then. Because honestly, from November 1st forward, everybody just pretty much stops working. I mean, it is what it is. Can you imagine what a perk? You already get off all these crazy ass holidays that nobody else. They're like Professional Candle Making Day. All right, shut the county building down. Mike Jones drove into work without hitting a parked car. All right, shut the county building down. You know, these people already work the bare minimum. And maybe I'm just a little crappy tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit longer into the show. I actually had a really good weekend. Got a lot of work done. Friday night we were off. Got a lot of good work done on Saturday. Spent some time. I did something that I don't normally do. With everything going on in my life, it just don't seem like I get a chance to get out and see my grandparents as much as I used to. So I went out and spent some time with my grandparents this weekend. And obviously the joke there is that's pretty much all I have been doing. I had a good time with my grandparents. Sat and watched The Unforgiven last night again with my grandparents watched a little bit of it, and I finished it off as they went to bed. But what a great movie The Unforgiven is. Just once again, I've seen it maybe 200 times in my life. Great. Great. It's laughable what is accomplished year round. That being said, 2 months here should be just shut down without. Yeah, hey, I'm fine with that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If they would be cool with saying, I don't care what they're cool with. If we finally could work it out to where they basically were paid for the work they did, then I would be good. I would be good with that. For those of you that are listening tonight that might not have heard when I said this around the review of Organizational Day, or for maybe those of you that were here that didn't get it, and it didn't matter if you've heard me say it, we all need to be aware that it's happening, specifically here in the state of Indiana. But honestly, for those of you elsewhere outside of Indiana, it's going on in your neck of the woods too. Our amazing General Assembly this year, when they went into their nonsensical ceremonial day where they get in and pat everybody on the back and talk about how wonderful they are, when they hoist up the perverts and pedophiles and sexual freaks that they do to points of power within government. That's what they always do. They also set the rules, and one of the rules that they did this year was they were like, well, we want to be a more family-oriented government. And so we think that you guys have been really working too hard. So we're going to actually cut your days down. We're going to stop working 3 days a week. We're only going to work 2 days a week now. Oh, okay. This is being told to the Indiana General Assembly, who already only work from January to April. Okay? Let's be clear. These jokers go in and work from January until April. And then after April, they spend the rest of the year back here in the districts doing God knows what and making money. They get paid all year round. It's going to be one of those things where when the first rule for all of these people in the Indiana code, when the first law they've written down into their code books is elected officials must only work 1 day a year in order to be paid. That's how it starts out. If you're the elected sheriff of a county, technically, if you clock on 1 day a year, you could keep your job and no one can do anything to you. If you're the elected clerk, you've got to work 1 day a year. If you're an elected mayor, you've got to work 1 day a year. If you're a school board person, you've got to work 1 day. It's these people are jokesters. And then, and that's Kate says in the comments I just saw, that is unless Biden gets us all killed first. Happy Eve to the nuclear war, everyone. I think she even meant that on something, another comment, but it works all the way. It works all the way. And then what I like is they don't like. Let me back up. I never was offended anytime I heard someone either jokingly or rudely call me a pig when I was a police officer. That's just not something that bothered me. I did not care about it. There's some departments, I don't even know what the G word is, but there are some departments that actually put that on their cars, like professionalism, integrity, and like I don't know, generosity or something. And then obviously it spells out the acronym PIG on their cars, like they do it on purpose. I was like, yeah, I would like to work for that department. That's a department that's really going places. I never cared. I understood. It's everybody loves the firemen. Nobody loves the police. You know what I mean? That's absolutely. But the thing is, like, I never got mad about it because I understood. What I think is comical is we have these people. Oh, stand by. Hold on. I'm actually getting a call from a doctor. Stand by real quick. Hello? Hello? Yes, hi. No, because we have an appointment with his infection doctor at that time at his office. Unfortunately, normally we would be able to, but that sounds fantastic. Okay. Excellent. All right. Yep. Great. Thank you. Bye. Okay. Well, that will kill two birds with one stone. Hello, grandparents. If you're watching this, listening, we have occupational therapy at 9 to 9:30 on Wednesday. She wanted to come tomorrow, but we had Dr. Berg tomorrow. So no, 9 to 9:30 Wednesday. That will be Wednesday, the 27th. So I'll tell you about it tomorrow, but just FYI.
That's really bizarre. A doctor's office calling at 9 p.m. on a Sunday?
It's not doctor's office per se. It's the like the at-home health people who come to do like the occupational therapy and stuff. So they schedule stuff that's what we set up with them, so they would tell us in advance, because they have like they go to patient's house all day long, and so they've got a schedule. So
okay, it just seems awful late for a doctor.
Yeah, it's not like a doctor; it's just like a home health care person. But yeah, it is what it is. I told you, hey, people, I am on the way to becoming world-renowned political commentator. You're messing up my show. I think I've told them all that, but I don't know. Yeah, they are pretty wild. Hello, Paula. Alva says, we just finished our 4th special session of our General Assembly this year. A final 20-day session on tax reform. That's the thing. You guys, your people, for better or worse, spend a lot of time in session and spend a lot of time in special sessions. That's at least they're doing something, I guess. That's the thing. I don't know. That's interesting. What I was saying before we were rudely interrupted. No, I'm just kidding. Before the phone call. What's funny to me is these people run for office. Like, I know that there are a few of them that get asked by people, hey, we really think that you ought to run. Like, I always do that. Listen, I make no bones about it. And I don't know if he's watching tonight or not. And I'm sure if he is, he might kill me for this. But I always tell Tim Nickum that he should run. I would love for Tim Nickum to run for commissioner or something like that. Now, he's a businessman. He's out in the community. He's living life. And I know he's too busy, but it's his type of mentality. There are people that I want in office, not half of the people, 90% of the people that are there. So there are people that get asked to run. That being said, even those people know, like if Tim ever said, yeah, you know what, I think I will run. He is intelligent enough to know that he is doing that of his own accord. That no one's putting a gun to his head and saying, run, you've got to run, you need to run. He understands that the government's not coming to him and saying, you're our last hope. Nobody's doing that. So these people, they run. I hope they run because they believe they have something that can make a difference. Now, a lot of them, that's not true. A lot of them run because they are not capable of doing anything other than this. And it's really easy to go in and to lie to a bunch of people and to make them feel like you care and that you're going to listen and then you're going to work for them, and then go in and do the exact opposite of that. And, bitch and moan when they try to get in contact with you, and then do your own agenda, make your own deals, fill your own pockets, help your own friends, and do things like that. Okay. Yeah, JD ran because he was basically told he was going to by his people. They, like his parents, they set him up. His dad had ran, and, he was groomed for that spot, by the bizarro network of people around him. But what's funny is you get these people that run and they're intelligent enough to know that they are entering something that a lot of people despise. Most people despise elected officials because of how they, there's not a lot of belief in politicians that they're actually doing what's right. There's very little, people. You don't hear people saying, boy, when my kid grows up, I wish he becomes a senator. Or, used to, you would. Back in the 30s and the 40s, it was something to become, a United States senator, the local mayor, a city councilman. They were people that wore, suits and Stetsons and dresses if they were women, and and so it's funny to me that these people that run today, they think like, oh, it's I'm running and everyone just better respect me, damn it. Well, that's first off not how it works. And I don't think there's any level of anything where you can just demand respect. That certainly doesn't cut it. And there used to be this push where everyone's like, well, you deserve everybody a level of respect. And I agree with that to an extent. Everybody gets a baseline level of respect. not everybody. I mean, you know, like if you know someone running into somebody knowing that they're a pedophile and, you know, a monster, maybe you don't give them the same, but across the board, everyone gets this like baseline human level of respect, and then it goes up or down based on the interaction or what you know or what you learn or what happens or da 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 da. Well, it's interesting because so the story, the thing here is I kind of equate this to the private sector for a moment, because my dad owned a business, okay? And I can talk about this where the person who owned the business before my dad owned it, okay? He owned it, and his family had it for, they basically owned the company. Well, he married into the family that owned it, and it had been owned by these people from the beginning. It was Muncie Tent and Awning for the people around town that you know it. It was around for 110 years. My father went to work there right out of basically high school, and then worked his way up and became like a manager and was the salesman and lead salesman and da 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 da, and then bought it and ran it from that time until he passed. And what's funny is the man that owned it before my father owned it, he had some children. He had a boy and a girl, and the girl didn't really do much in it. She helped a little bit, but not much. But the son helped in it a little bit, like when he was in high school and college. And he always looked at it kind of as a joke. My dad's the boss, and I can do what I want here. And he ran through the business kind of being an asshole to everybody and treating everybody badly and just looking down at them like, my dad owns this place and I do what I want. And from a little kid, all I wanted to do was to work there and to work with the guys and to go in and to swing the sledgehammers and to do this work and to be there. And like, I worked there from middle school, high school, and college up until I became a police officer. And then even afterwards, I still helped out there a lot, and I would still help out and do things and work on the side and do, help whatever, anytime. It was a family business, at that point. My grandparents helped out. My uncle helped out, and so there were a lot of people involved. My younger, the youngest brother, he helped out and worked in there. He was kind of on the younger side, but he worked in there and was coming up too. And when I started working, no one told me this. No one said, well, there's two paths. My dad didn't set me down and tell this. I wanted to bust my ass. I wanted to work harder than anybody there. My dad and I used to fight about this because there would be times and things that we would go out on the job. And I know this now, being, in my 40s and realizing there are times that I wake up and I don't move the same as I did when I was in my 20s. I'm starting to realize this, but when you're 18 and pounding sledgehammer, driving stakes in for a big 80 by 120 tent for a massive wedding or something for Ball State, my whole thing was, I want to get out, bust my ass, get it done, and then we could set. Well, my dad at that time, he was in his 40s, mid 40s, going into his 50s, and he's like slowing down a little bit, still absolutely badass, had massive guns for arms, just was an absolute monster. But, he would like take his time, and that used to really frustrate me. And my dad would be like, slow down a little bit, slow down. And so I just wanted to always do everything that way. When I told people, or people came in and they found out that I was the owner's son, it wasn't something where it was looked like, well, that dude's just, an asshole. Like, he really knows his stuff. And, I really worked my ass off up here. And so That's the whole point. That was my mentality. And I think that that's how I would approach an elected official. If I was an elected official, I would go in and give it that's how I did the police department. That's how I do this. I try to give it my very best, and I don't want to put out an inferior quality. That's why I get crazy when we're having audio technical issues. That's why I get crazy when the camera's jumpy or whatever. And that's, I'm a bit of a perfectionist and whatever. Well, I understand that not everybody is like that, but these elected officials that go in and just, they're like, I've made it here, and now I'm not going to do a thing. That just absolutely irks me. And specifically in the communication area, I've talked to a lot of people, and anytime I meet or I talk to someone new, someone in like a person higher up in broadcasting than me, or a high up politician or someone, the very first thing I say is, yes, I'm a conservative. I'm a libertarian. I'm a constitutionally minded individual. But before I care about Republican or Democrat or right or left or whatever, my main thing is communication, transparency, and accountability. And if you're an elected official who is not capable of communicating, if you're an elected official that is not capable of being accountable or allowing yourself to be held accountable, or is not willing to be transparent, then I've got no use for you. And I understand that everybody, it's not like it necessarily is going to come natural to everyone. And I understand that there might be people that have really good ideas and they're really good thinkers, but communication isn't their strong suit. And I understand that people get in and they might need a little bit of time. It maybe needs to build up, and I'm willing to give people that time. But when you're an elected public servant, when you're an appointed public servant, a volunteer, you're paid, whatever the deal is, there is a level of expectation there. Okay? This is leading us all someplace, I promise. Stick with me. Now, I understand that I can be extremely demanding of elected officials. I understand that when it comes to elected officials, I have a little bit, I'll say I have a chip on my shoulder. I have a chip on my shoulder. One time, let me tell you, this all goes together, I promise. This is like going to be a one long Bilbrey story time. The name of the episode is Communication 101. And what better way to teach communication than just talking? But it's all going to be a bunch of connected stories that will get to the point, I promise. Okay. I remember talking to one of my closest confidants, a person that I really trust. And I was going into the Madison County clerk's office to then, from there, to be directed to the election room, because I wanted to file, what's Donnie call it? Tell me, the weave? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? The weave? It's not rambling. It's the weave. It's the weave. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a man after my own heart with that. I knew exactly what he was talking about. I was like, oh, I understand that. Sometimes at the end of 3 days, I'm like, wait, what was I saying? Like, I wanted a piece of bread. That's all. Wait, what? Where are we at? So I went into the Madison County Clerk's office, and because I had never been to the election department, the election room before, and I asked them to direct me there. And straight off the bat, when I went in there, the very first, all I wanted was to be directed to the group of people that I needed to talk to. I did not need, nor did I want to explain myself. I didn't want to leave a DNA sample. I didn't want to have to go back and, explain how I was related to, the people at Bethlehem. I just wanted to get to the right room. But I go, and the very first person I see, and listen, there's two things I understand. Number one, I have a heavy presence. I understand that people just immediately don't like me because they think I'm trouble because, I'm there to ask questions. I'm there to create trouble. I get it. I understand that I have a bit of an attitude problem when dealing with stuff that piss me off, like elected officials. I understand that I can be shitty to people. I get it. I'm admitting these are all faults of mine. So anytime I make up for it by when I walk in, I'm going to give you the impression. All right, I walk up and I say, hello there, good morning, ma'am, or good morning, sir. I'm always very respectful. I call anyone, miss or mister, sir, madam, ma'am, all of these things that, are respectful. And I always have a big smile on my face. I could have the worst headache in the world. I could have just been cussing out some elected official. And the very next one I see, I'll smile. Good morning. I just need to be directed to your election personnel. And the very first thing that happens is this woman says, why do you need to talk to them? And I had a very close confidant on the phone with me at the time. And I was like, oh man, I can feel my smile melting from my face. Cause don't ask me questions like this. Like, what do you mean? Like, when I hear someone say that, why do you need to talk to them? Well, I just got here from Mars and I was bringing them some Martian nuggets. Like, I want to make up the most ignorant crap to tell people like that, to make them be like, what? And I'd be like, it's none of your business. I just need to meet these people. Are you their keeper? And I know that's like my shortcoming, and the person that I was talking to that I had on the phone asked me why I'm so short. And I said, I can explain it. I can explain it. And it makes me a bad person. And I'm working on it. I pray about this. But it's not that lady that pissed me off that just asked me that question. If it was just that lady, I would eat it and I'd be like, well, ma'am, I want to talk to him about this. Most people would, I think I'm being polite to him, because what most people would do is most people would stop at her and would hassle her. And she would be like, well, I don't do that. Let me direct you over here. Since I've been doing this long enough, I know I can save her time and trouble by just asking her to point me in the direction of where I'm going. But then when she gets all nosy and starts wanting me to show ID and wanting me to ask, I'm like, whoa. Back down. I'm not going to give you ID to just ask someone a question. But I'm not giving her lip or attitude because of her question. I'm doing it because this is only the 9 billionth time that some elected or person or official or employee or somebody has done this to me. And it's just like, I don't look for trouble. I just am asking a question, and you guys are all trying, mind your own business. Just let's try this again. I'm going to walk out. I want to ask you a question. And one of two things. Either if you don't know how to answer the question, say, I don't know how to answer it, or if whatever, but why ask me immediately to start IDing myself? I'm not asking for the secrets to the nuclear football. I'm not asking for the code. I'm not asking, to get into Fort Knox. I'm asking where a public area in this building is. So I try to be nice to her, and I'm like trying to keep it to going. And finally, after like third or fourth time of kind of going back and forth, she points me in the right direction. So I walk out of there and I take a deep breath. And even though we've just had that interaction, I walk up to the next window and I do it again. Well, hello, sir. How are you doing? Hey, I've got a quick question for you. I need to submit a records request. Listen, knowing that the records request that I am requesting is for voting information. There's only one place in this building that can give me that, and that's the man I'm talking in front of. But when I walk up to his window and I smile and I'm nice to him and I say, hey, I'm here for a records request, he cuts me off saying, we don't do records requests. You're going to have to go back over to, you have to go to the clerk's office. And I'm like, well, no, sir, I think you do this records request. No, we don't do that. First of all, you'll need to get a paper. And I'm like, okay, so, and then I'm like, okay. So I go, all right, I'm going to go back over there and I'm going to give them my record request for election material. And he says, okay, well, what are you wanting? And now I'm like, well, see, I've already been talking to you for 2 minutes, and we like literally we're 2 minutes past. I wanted to give you this and be gone and be out of your hair. You be out of mine. But because you're too busy, and maybe it's because the general public maybe don't know, and they think they're being, I don't know if they think they're being helpful or what the deal is. And I know that some people are going to say that this is a mad level of crazy bitching that I'm doing here. It's not. This is just it's a lack of common sense. All right. First of all, I believe that the general public needs to better educate themselves. So I'm saying that on behalf of all of the workers. Yes, the general public needs to better educate themselves. We're trying to get that out. We're trying to spread the message. We are trying to educate people. But you, as a government employee, can't look at all of your people, because understand, all of the people that you're talking to, no matter how ignorant they are, they're your employer. So you, as a government employee, whether it's a volunteer, you're an employee just turning the cog, making the crank work, doing, shoveling paper, whatever. Or if you're an elected official or whatever, you're working for these people. Their tax dollars are why you're standing in the building that you're standing in. So after having been through it countless times, I have a very little wick for the bullshit. So if I go up and I'm treating someone nice, Clinton, if I walk up and someone's cool, I don't even care if someone's got an attitude, but as long as we're able to continue advancing the ball, I'm down with it. I'm fine with that. But it's all of the nonsense that I want to try to cut out with. And to me, communicating is that way. So in talking to Ryan Webb, all right, Ryan Webb is a Delaware County Councilor for exactly, for the rest of this month and for the rest of December. All right. And the very first time that I talked to Ryan Webb, I remember having a conversation with him, and it stuck out in my mind. He said, he said, I've answered. He said, you've emailed me a couple times and I've always tried to respond, and I try to respond quickly. And I was like, oh no, yeah, you do fantastic. You do, that's true, Alva. And I'll come back to that, because that's true. But I think that there's a common denominator that can help people out in that situation. I'll come back to that, because I think that's a very good point. That is a very good point, specifically in politics and in dealing with government. And so I do agree with that to an extent. I agree with it 100%. But I'll tell you why I think that there's a way that we can still work through it. So in talking to Ryan said, you know what? I said, well, I'm just glad that you do respond, because you'd be amazed at how many people don't respond. And one of the very first things that Ryan Webb said to me is, you don't understand how many people say that. And I said, oh, yeah, I do. I said, I get it, because I hear it from everybody. And so what Ryan told me was, every person that emails me or calls me that I respond to, the first thing they say is, wow, you responded. And he said, the first couple times I didn't think anything about it. But after I had heard that 10, 20, 30 times, I started saying, what do you mean I responded? Of course I responded. I'm an elected official. And these people said, no, you don't understand. They don't respond to us. And he's like, what do you mean they don't respond? He's like, I emailed all of you, bro. I emailed all of you, but you're the only one that responded. You're the only person that responded. And you're the only person that ever responds. Most of the time they don't. Or they respond so ineffectively that we don't respond. Or they're rude about it and it makes us mad and we don't respond. Or they talk down to us, or they talk, and they just talk people out of it. And they make people feel like there's no point in even trying. That's the thing. I think that they purposely try to do that. And that's what my whole mission is against. Beating down and out the elected officials that are rude to people, that are not willing to talk and listen. Yeah, Brenda Grider. Brenda Grider is a great example. Brenda Grider is I'll say this, she is a former elected official and hopefully very, very possibly a future elected official. I don't even live in her area. And when she told me that she was not running anymore, I was so distraught, because she's good at her job. And they try to tear her down and they try to blame crap on her. She was good at what she did, and she was good in the position she was in. And she would be a good executive. She would be a good council member. She would be a good mayor. She'd be a good commissioner. Absolutely. Look what she just wrote there. Brenda says, don't start that shit, LOL. I'm going to talk you into it. She will run again, I can tell you. So, all of this nonsense is leading to the fact that I can tell you this. Well, I guess I can't. I was going to. Used to, until January of 2024, from long ago, before I even had a show, up until December 31st of 2023, for whatever crookedness that Muncie elected officials were involved in, at least maybe not all 9 city councilors responded all the time, but the majority of them would respond most of the time. And over a long history of time, all of them respond at various points. And I was always pleased with that. Now, I understand that I reach out to these people far more than normal people do. A lot of people are only going to maybe reach out to an elected official once or twice in their lifetimes. Maybe a couple times, every couple of years or something. They don't do it. Now, imagine that. Imagine if you are only trying to ask one-off question and you're treated like shit by these people and you never interact with them again. Your only experience with them is that they treated you like crap. That's your only experience. That's maddening to me. Now imagine my experience when you're dealing with these people day in and day out and they're treating me like crap every single day. Understand how that wears on a person. So at least whatever weirdness the Muncie city councilors are doing, or the government in Muncie could be doing, they would respond, the majority of them. When I moved to Winchester and I started involving myself in Winchester, I really experienced craziness because I would email the mayor, I would email the council, the 5 council members on the Winchester City Council, and none of them would respond for months. I would go to the meeting and I would be like, yo, I am emailing you idiots and you're not. I wouldn't say it like that, but I would go in, I would be upset. Think about that. Think about these people. Imagine if you were the owner of McDonald's, if you were the franchise owner and you walked in and you said, hey, fry cook, I need you to do this. And he just didn't talk to you. And he wouldn't do what you said. And he wouldn't talk, he wouldn't have a job there very long. These people are working for the public and they're willing and they're okay with treating the public at large like this. It's crazy to me. Now, I understand that sometimes I can be heavy with these people that I like when they do something like this. 2 things. I remember, because I think that I have a nice personality, good personality. And when I was a police officer, I tried to be as cool with people as I could be, even in the worst situations. Even when I was arresting somebody, I never treated somebody. Listen, I've been involved with fights. I've been involved with fights, down and dirty fights where I've had to hurt people and where I've been hurt by people. I've been involved in fights like that, arresting people and fighting. That just happens. And even then, I tried to treat the people as best as I could. But I remember my dad telling me long ago, and it's true. My dad wasn't a cop, but what he said was true. There are people in this world that will respond to, hey, I say this a lot. Hey, sir, you're under arrest. Please put your hands behind your back. And they could be 2 blocks away from you and they'll do it. And you're like, hey, come here. And he'll come to you. And then there are other people that you talk to. That's right, Stumblefoot. That's exactly right. Okay. Hey, that's true. You hear both of your comments in weird places. That's the funny thing. A lot of them have me on speed dial, Stumblefoot, and a lot of them will talk to me in weird positions. But then when it's me questioning them, they still don't like that. And in a sense, I am the boogeyman to these people. They're literally, people will be like, I don't want to be on your show. I don't want, they'll watch to see, I ducked out. Well, I'm just like, don't do anything stupid and be polite to the people and you won't be on the show. It's real easy. So But my dad said, there are people that respond to that and are kind. And then there are some people that, I said, set the blank down, you're under arrest, get over here, you shithead, because that's all that they have heard their whole lives. So sometimes you can be nice and it can diffuse the situation. And sometimes you gotta get someone's attention. And I'm okay with either one. And I can lose my cool and I can be crazy. And it's always that scene I always love that scene in the original Batman when Bruce Wayne is over at Vicky Vale's house and he's getting ready to tell her that he's Batman. And all of a sudden the Joker, Jack Nicholson, comes in. And that's when Batman tells him, Bruce Wayne's telling the Joker about this little boy who's timid, and he's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That whole thing. And then that's when the Joker says, you ever seen the devil in the pale moonlight? And that kind of throws Bruce Wayne off because that's what he said to his parents before, that whole thing. I'm that guy that's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. And I'm okay with that. And that's hard for people to understand. Like, there are people in my life that would never see that from me, but I can be riled up and I can get like crazy, and I'm okay with that. That there's a part of me that's me. I mean, I get it. I like it. I'm okay with that part, but I would rather not be like that. And I understand that there are times that I get loud and I can maybe treat these people. I could treat these people better, and I understand that, and I'm working on that, and I try my level best to be better. But there comes a point where there's only so much shit that you can eat from your employees. Okay? Like, okay, cool. Listen to me. I have emailed, and it's not just this current Delaware County Council, because we are specifically right now I am talking to you specifically about the Delaware County Council. Most of the Delaware County elected officials, let me be clear to you. In Delaware County, I know that I could email and or call or reach out to the elected sheriff. And I know that he would take my call, he would take my text, he would take my email, and or he would call and or text or email me back. No question. I know his chief deputy would. I know the deputy prosecutor. I know the elected prosecutor would. Okay, would email me and has emailed me and responds. I know that like her, love her, hate her, don't, whatever. I know that Amber will respond to me in her role. I know that. I'm not going to mix. I don't want to mix Muncie and Delaware. We're just talking about Delaware County, because the Muncie people, even though I battle with a lot of them, they do. Just talking about Delaware County. So the sheriff and his chief deputy, the prosecutor and his people, Ryan Webb, and there are times that Ryan Webb is driving, so it might take a day or two. But Webb will respond. If I email Ryan Webb, he'll respond to me, period. I can also tell you this. Out of every time that I have emailed Jessica Piper ever, and I'm not saying a record request, I'm just saying I pulled up an email, I put her email in the thing, and I sent an email asking a question, asking for a record request. It doesn't matter what it is. I sent an email expecting a response, and she's maybe responded to me one time. Let me type in her name in my email box, and let me just double check. Let me look here. Hold on. want that. I just want to put J. Piper. Get that. R. Are those sent? Is here? Do we have one right here? Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. Yes. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right. So, since... Okay. ...2024, she's ran for re-election. She'll be taking her seat. So 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 8. So since I moved back, since 2019, in all of the emails that I have ever sent Jessica Piper, she's responded one time to me. She responded in July 15th of 2021. I sent an email directly to her. And I said, I sent it to everybody, but I sent this to her directly. Good evening, Councilor Piper. There's an ongoing issue with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office pay for merit deputies and correctional officers. This is leading to some serious issues for Delaware County. There is also an issue for the 911 call center. I'm aware of a plan that Sheriff Tony Skinner has brought forward and is in hopes that the council will pass his plan. However, I've not been able to find your position on this matter. Will you be voting in favor of Sheriff Skinner's plan? Do you have any other thoughts on the matter? I am definitely looking forward to hearing from you in this matter. Jessica's response is, hi, Chris. I don't know you that way. Hope all is well. We've been actively working with both the sheriff and 911 communications for some time now. Matter of fact, Scott and I met with Sheriff Skinner today over lunch. I don't know of any council members who are not supportive of trying to find sustainable funding mechanism to help with our public safety salary. There are a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle when it comes to budgets and funding. As you know, have a great day. Political answer. So you notice she didn't answer my question. She didn't say, yes, I'm going to support it. Yes, I'm going to vote for it. Or no, I'm not going to support it. No, I'm not going to vote for it. She gave me a very political answer and was polite. And this was back when, she probably didn't really like me, but, we weren't as adversarial as we are now. Now, let me be very clear. This is the same thing. Okay. This is the same thing that I'm saying about Dale Basham. I don't care how much he thinks I dislike him or that I like him, or how little he thinks of me as a human or as a person, or what he thinks. None of I might say things about him here. He's more than welcome to come on and defend himself, or he's more than welcome to post on his social media or on mine or whatever. But this is my commentary. This is my time. When I reach out to him as an elected official, I am always polite. I am always kind. I am always respectful. I am never out of control. And he still refuses to respond. Now, I've sent dozens and dozens and dozens of emails to the Delaware County Council with various people on the council. This current council and the council in the last 4 years. So there was various peoples on. Very seldomly will they respond. Talk about Scott Alexander. Scott Alexander is currently the District 26 or whatever, 26, 27 senator for our district here, Delaware County and Randolph County. And before that, he was the Delaware County Council president. So he was on the council president seat. Okay. And I used to send him emails. Okay. Councilman Scott Alexander. All right. And I love this because he has his own email. He didn't go in with the county. He had Councilman Scott at Comcast.net. Okay. So I had sent him several emails. And let me see here. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. No, I'm not going to talk about that. So I thought he commented me, but there was a listener that commented that emailed him and carbon copied me, or blind carbon copied me. So he responded to that person, but he didn't respond to me directly. Let me see. Yes. Okay. Right here. One. So I emailed, funny enough, it's the same email that I just emailed that I told you about Jessica. I asked him and he responded to me too. Christopher, thanks for the inquiry. I have a meeting with Sheriff Skinner tomorrow. We have been discussing and working on this issue since March for both the sheriff and jail and communications. I may be able to update you on Friday after our meeting. Very good to hear. Please keep me posted. Guess what? I never got an update. Isn't that amazing? I never got an update. So he sent me one or two emails, that. The bottom line is these elected officials, keep in mind, Scott Alexander was an at-large councilman. He was my councilman. Jessica Piper is at large. She is my counselor. Eugene Whitehead is an at-large counselor. He is my councilman. Okay? I can't tell you how many emails I've sent out to the council since Eugene's been on, and he's responded to 2 of them. So when I tell you that I have had it up to here with responding and with communicating or attempting to communicate with a Delaware County Council, that for whatever reason feels that they do not have to reply to me. And it's not just me, folks. If it was just me, if this were just me, you wouldn't be hearing this. I wouldn't talk to you about it. I would find another way to communicate with these people. I would hold their feet to the fire privately or in another way, and we'd be good. I'm outraged because it's not just me. Kate said it's not a recent thing. It's accumulation of years of different councils completely ignoring citizens in general. And listen, I didn't talk to Ryan Webb about this. So he's not on, but I'm going to get him on. I'm going to get him on. Ha 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 ha, Clinton. I love it, bro. Funny. I'm going to get Webb on sometime between now and the end of his term, and I'm going to ask him the question, and he can tell you, and you can hear it for your own self, that he hears this daily from people. And when I say daily, people email him daily. He gets the elected officials get a lot of emails. I'm an idiot, and I get a lot of emails from people. They get probably double the amount of emails I get, asking questions. Things. He emails everyone. I just talked to him about this Friday, and he said, dude, I email every email I get. I answer every phone call. I call everybody back. So last week, what would happen if you ask your question in person? A, get ran out. B, get trespassed. Well, that's the thing. Let's talk about that before I go on and tell you the point of this. Same thing going on down here in Richmond. And Christopher, Sean, Durham, I've been listening and watching some stuff going on in Richmond. Maybe if you could send me a message, I'd like to talk to you, because I'd like to look at that and like to kind of look at what's going on, because there's some big shakeups happening there. And I get it, Tweety Bird. He could be rude. Look, I would be okay, maybe, if these people were being rude to me. I can take rude if they're responding back. That's not the fight for today. The fight for today is we're talking about communication. These people are paid tax dollars to talk to us one way or another. But if they're just not talking, I can't. To me, that's the most rude thing that you can do. To let someone know that they are so beneath you that would be like saying you are so beneath me. I do not need to respond to you. I will never respond to you. Your questions are not worth a damn. I have nothing to say to you. But going back to what Stumblefoot said, you could talk to him one-on-one, but it'd be like this. Say you're in Walmart, shopping in Walmart, and you see, city councilor so-and-so, or you see state representative, what's his name, or you see, whoever, okay, and Jessica Piper in Menards, and you walk up and you ask a question. First of all, because of the cold shoulder that I've gotten, I know that there are some people, like for example, let me tell you like this. Troy Ingram. If I saw Troy Ingram in any store, anywhere, when he was on the council, I would go up, shake hands, say, hey, what's up, talk, whatever. If I had a question, if I have a question from him, if I had a question for him, I would say, hey, do you mind if I ask you this real quick? Or would you rather me get you at another time? And depends on, and I would let him go off his thing. There are some people that run up. That's part of being a representative to the people. It happens all the time. You know how many people catch me out when I'm eating? I'll be out in public eating with my grandparents, or I'll run in, be eating with my friends, or eating with, this person or that person. And I run out and someone will come up to me and ask me, hey, would you help me with this or whatever? That happens all the time. And I am never rude to anybody. I'll talk to and there are times it's bothersome. And I'm like, man, can't people, like, I wish these people could be like, I have nothing to, there's no problem with saying, hey, I love listening to you, whatever. Or, I'd like to talk to you sometime. Would you call me? I would like to pick your brain on this. Yeah, that's fine. And if I ever walked up to an official in public and they ask me, hey, now's not the best time. Okay, cool. Let me know when it is a good, that's fine. But number one, if you go up to them in public and you ask them a question, they could say anything. They could literally agree with you. They could tell you they disagree. They could tell you whatever they want to tell you. And there you go. Later on, they do something different. You call them out about it, and it's off the record. So, it doesn't matter. It's a he said, she said. Yes, you could record the matter as long as you're talking. Indiana. This is only for Indiana. Okay, this is a quick little, just a side note. This is only for Indiana. Indiana is a one-party consent state. So you could walk up and record your conversation, and then that would be a little different. You could play it and have it, but still, you're just recording a conversation between this person in this store. Whereas if you're doing it on the record, like, yes, I could wait for the monthly meeting to go there, okay, and I could go there to say, here's, I'm on the record. We're here. I'm asking you guys this. And you know what they do? They say, well, this is your time to ask questions. We're not going to take your time. Most of them will sit there and start. Sometimes they answer, not very seldomly. So normally what it is you asking a question and then them saying, okay, thank you, sit down. And then it's like you get no answer. So then that leaves the email. To me, the email is probably the best way to communicate with these people. That's the reason so many of them don't and won't answer in email. You get it? Because it's there in black and white. Their words are there. They wrote them. They sent them. You got them. So they don't respond because they don't want their email to show up on a show like this. They don't want their emails to be plastered on social media. They don't want to say one thing and then do the other thing and then get it thrown back in their face or this or that. They do not do it. Absolutely, Clinton. So yeah, they will not do it. So you all remember when we talked about the show last week, it was called Seeing Red, and it was where I talked about the auditor of Delaware County and all of the craziness that he has going on. Remember us talking about that? Okay. Well, turns out that basically, as I said that night, the basis of that show came from the fact that the 911 director had sent out an email to the auditor and to a bunch of county employees, department heads, the county commissioners, the county council. He sent it out to a lot of things. Okay. They sent it out to a lot of people. Yeah. Here it is right here. It's this one. It's this one right here. The one right here with Ed with the red face. It's called Seeing Red. I also talked about the governor and lieutenant governor elect. All right. It was from, let's see from what day it was. Okay, it was from November 18th. So this was last Monday evening. I did that show. Okay, Monday evening is when we did that show. Whoa. No, we don't. So Monday during the day before the show, I get told that there's an email out in the world and I should request it. So I issue a records request for this email and any other emails in the chain. Okay? And now, please be aware that someone told me about this email and read this email to me. So I'm hearing it. So I know it exists. I'm hearing it, and I'm hearing the responses. So I issue a records request. And the record request that I issued, okay, I'm going to pull this up here. The records request that I issued on November 18th, 2024, I sent to the following people: Councilor Webb, Councilor Whitehead, Councilor Piper, Councilor Hughes, Councilor Flanagan, Councilor Mokel, Councilor Kantz, Councilor, that's all of them, the 7 of them. Ed Carroll, who's an elected official, Delaware County elected official, to James King, Sherry Riggin, and Shannon Henry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I sent this to 11 elected officials. 11 of them. I said, and it wasn't an official record request, because what I was requesting is something that they clearly knew it was, so there was no question. It was an email between a department head about issues and the auditor, sent to all of them. Clearly, it's requestable. So I sent this email to 11 elected officials, 11 elected public servants, and I said, "Good evening, Delaware County Councilor and Commissioners and Ed. I've been made aware from a couple department heads about an email sent from the 911 director to all of you and various department heads about some major issues he's having with the Delaware County Auditor, Ed Carroll. Under Indiana's Access to Public Record Act, I am requesting you all send me that email and the chain to khbilbrey@gmail.com at your earliest convenience. Thank you." I sent that email out Monday, November 18th at 6:13 p.m. Okay? Now, listen. That's an email that I sent out, honestly, early enough that 1 or 2 of those people should have been able to respond that night still. However, no one did. Now, someone else off of that email sent me what I was asking for. Not because of that email, but they just said, "Hey, have you seen this?" And they sent it to me. So I was able to publish that email. I was able to publish that email. I was then able to publish the response. You guys all saw it. I was then able to publish Ed's response, and then I was able to publish Ryan's response. Okay. I called, after I got part of the email, I called Ryan Webb, and we talked. He was on the road. He hadn't been doing it, and he's the one that sent me his copy. So I had as much of it at the time as I thought. Now, I very well thought that it could lead to other emails. However, for those of you that watched, don't you remember? Ed said, number one, he would rather not use email. He would rather do it face to face. And number two, when Ryan sent the email, Ed sent back a response saying that he was going to be out of the office until Tuesday, the 26th. So on the 18th, Ed sent out an email saying, "I'm going to be out all this week, basically. I'll be back on Tuesday, the 26th. So I thought that there could be more emails in the chain, but I didn't know. Thought it could be a while because Ed said that he would be hard to get by phone and by email. Well, I then had a conversation with someone. I cannot disclose who, but I had a conversation with someone after that show I did. After the show, I had a conversation with someone else in government. Back up. Put a pin in that. Nobody responded to the request. Technically, Ryan did because I did talk to him on the phone and he complied through what he had. But he sent me what he had, but he never sent me an email because we talked in person and I had already been sent the email from another way. So as far as we're concerned, none of the commissioners responded. Ed Carroll did not respond. And 7 counselors, no one sent an email. When I'm saying they did not respond, there's actually 2 different things that should have happened. They could have done it in 1 email, or it could have been as many as 2. Because the response that I should have gotten from every single one of them, unless something else happened, in Ryan's case, something else happened, so he was now clear of the responsibility. But the other 10 elected officials should have sent me a response saying, we have your request, I'm looking at it, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can with the responsive emails. That's something they could have done. Number 2, they could have said, I'm not sure. I'm going to send this to our attorney and let him go from there. That would have been sufficient. It would have been stupid. There's no reason to do that with this specific request, but that would have been sufficient. Or number 3, if they wouldn't have had anything pertinent, they could have said, yeah, I don't have anything pertinent to this, or whatever. Now, I would have known that was a lie, but they could have said it, I guess. They could have lied. Or, and then after that, any one of those people would have had to do the other thing. They would have either had to send me the emails and or have the attorney send me the emails. Now, the thing is, when I email the attorney and I ask for an email chain like this, I would only expect to get 1 response. I wouldn't expect for him to send me everybody's. But when I email the individual council members, in my opinion, under the law, they need to in order for them to comply, they all need to send me responses, and they need to comply, or they need to let me know that they've sent it to the attorney, and the attorney will be doing it. Okay? They did not do that. None of them didn't do it. Not a damn one of them. None of them. Okay? So, I'm extremely pissed off with the council members. Then we do the show. The next day, I get up, do whatever's going on. Okay. At some point, it comes to my attention through talking to another person in government that there have been more communications from some source. I was originally told it was an email, but I understand the person telling me might have been confused. It might have been a phone conversation. It might have been a text message. It may have been emails. It may have been face-to-face. But the person actually talked to me about language that was said from Ed about department heads. And the way they told it to me made it seem like there were other emails. And this was after Monday the 18th. Okay. So on Friday, November 22nd at 9:38 a.m., I sent a follow-up email to the council. Councilor Matt Kantz, Councilor Ryan Webb, Councilor Whitehead, Councilor Piper, Councilor Flanagan, Councilor Mokel, Councilor Hughes, Councilor Auditor Ed Carroll, and the Attorney John Brook. Now I've sent it to those 9 people. I left the commissioners out. We'll deal with the commissioners in another wing. This is focusing on the council because I mostly email the council. I email them a hell of a lot more than I email the commissioners. And so I'm really fed up. And so this is what I say at 9 a.m. on November 22nd, 2024. Okay, council and Ed. I sent an email to all 7 county councilors on Monday requesting all of you to send me the emails you had been sent from the 911 director to the auditor and all of you, along with the others, as well as a reply from the auditor back to the 911 director and all of you. Not only did none of you comply with a request that is clearly a proper record request, none of you complied with the law regarding sending a reply back. Now, so let's stop there just for 1 second and talk about this. Listen, that's serious. They might not think it's serious because I'm just idiot Bilbrey, but they are not complying with the law. The law says that they are to respond with a receipt, email, letter of receipt, and then they are to reply with the record request. That's what the law says. They are not complying with the law. The law doesn't say if it's Christopher Bilbrey, you don't have to do it. The law doesn't say, well, if you think he got it from somewhere else, you don't have to give a damn. The law doesn't say if you assume X, Y, and Z, you don't have to respond. The law doesn't say, well, you know, hey, if he really, for the love of God, lives in your county, but you're not 100% sure if he lives in your county or not, and you really just don't like him and you're not going to, you just don't, whatever. No, it doesn't say that. Kate's just put here from the Public Access Handbook. The public agency must respond to the request within 24 hours after any employee of the agency receives the request, specifically by email. And listen, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Doesn't happen for the city a lot. Okay. Does not. Okay. Yeah. The appellate request only requires only a response and not the actual production of records within that specified time period. So all they would have needed to do is say, hey, I've got your request. We're looking. I'll try to get it to you soon. Whatever. Could have been very easy. But they were like, yeah, we don't give a damn. So when I sent the email on Tuesday or on Friday, on Friday the 22nd, I was pissed. Okay. Because they're not even complying with the law. And what do I always say? If they're not going to comply with the law on these simple things, what else are they not complying with the law on? So I went on. As a matter of fact, the 7 of you county councilors suck at responding to emails, period. Now listen. Is that the nicest, most polite thing to say? No. Is it true? I would absolutely put my hand on a Bible in a courtroom and swear that I truly believe that that is a factual, truthful information, and I can show truth, I can show proof, and I can show the reason why I believe that that is a response that any sane individual would come to. That they suck at responding to emails. It's not the nicest, it's not the politest, but it's true. I could have said, you guys stink, you're no good, you know, you're horrible at it, you should give up. I could have said any number of things, but I just specifically said, hey, I'm just trying to get a point across. You guys suck at responding. It's 2025. Come on. You can respond to it via your desktop. You can do it via your laptop. You can do it by a tablet. You can do it by your phone. There are so many ways to respond. They could have been like Ryan Webb. They could have called me. I would have accepted receipt by phone call. They could have texted me. Okay, so I let them know. You guys suck at this. But understand, so what I'm doing in this email is I'm letting them know that, number one, I'm not happy with you, but now I've got a new request. And the reason I'm letting you know that I am unhappy with you is because I now want you to respond to this new request. And I want you to know that when you don't, I am going to file a complaint against each one of your dumbasses. And I apologize if you don't like me for calling you dumbasses, but get in the real world, folks. If you're not man or woman enough to hear that, you don't deserve to be in the seat that you're in. If you don't like, if the shoe fits, you wear it. And if you don't like it, you change the shoe. Okay. And so it is what it is. They might not agree, but that's my opinion. And you know what? I'm protected by the First Amendment saying I think they suck. I think that they do. Stumblefoot, don't mess with my authority. All right, absolutely. All I'm doing here is redressing my government. As a matter of fact, the 70 of you county councilors suck at responding to my emails, period. This is something that you must get better at. It's almost 2025. I then tell them, it doesn't matter if you don't like that I call you out for various issues. And I will tell you that's the problem of people like Matt Kantz. Matt Kantz is very much like Ridenauer. He doesn't like having to communicate. He ran on improving communication, but what he truly means is I want to do things and then tell people afterwards, and I want people to be okay with it. That's what he means. He didn't mean he was going to improve communication. He meant I'm going to do my own thing, and then I'll tell you afterwards, and you're supposed to be okay with it. It's very much in the Ridenauer vein of things. So I say, it doesn't matter that you don't like that I call you out for various issues. Communication is an essential function of being a public servant. You all know that you're public servants, right? I mean, let's be honest. Now, this is where we really break it down. I mean, let's be honest. Webb is pretty good at responding, but I get sometimes that he may be delayed because he's driving on the road. But really, he does pretty well. But he's almost out of there anyways. And when he is gone, the 6 of you plus the new one has to be able to reply to emails. It's gonna suck when Ryan is gone. The access to the county council is going to be non-existent in 2 months. Be friendlier. It might be friendlier, but you're not going to have access to them. You're not going to know a damn thing that goes on. So we got a friendlier government, but they're not going to answer your questions. They're not going to tell the citizens what goes on. And transparency, accountability, and communication has dropped. So I guess Elections have consequences, and you get the government you want, I guess. So I go on. You have to be able to reply to emails. Next up, Councilor Hughes does an okay job. And Councilor Kantz is hit and miss. So to you, audience, what does that sound like? In this email, I'm griping at them as a body. I'm griping at, Kate, no one on the council will ask questions during the meetings, so no transparency there either. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the bottom line is, I ripped all of their asshole by telling them, you guys all suck. But then I pull it back a little bit and I say, well, that's true. Ryan's pretty good. Councilor Hughes does an okay job. And Kantz is hit and miss. I wish he could be better, but so far it's just hit and miss. I then go on to say, but the rest of you, Jessica, Flanagan, Whitehead, and Jim, you all suck. You have to start doing better. So let's try this request again, this time a bit more formal. And I want to make sure that Mr. Kantz hears this, because this is not the same request. This is now a different request. When I say let's retry this request again, this time a bit more formal, now I'm doing it under the whole guise of putting in all the law. This is a request for records. It's an Indiana Public Record Act under IC 51431. Under Indiana Access to Public Records Act, I am requesting the opportunity to inspect or obtain copies of the following records. And they have to be able to read. And they might not like reading it all, but it sucks, right? All emails sent to or from Auditor Ed Carroll, to or from the County Councilor 911 Director, to or from any and all of you, the commissioners, between the dates of November 13th, 2024, and now I've added the 19th, the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd. So I've now added more dates. So I'm requesting what I originally requested. Now I'm requesting more because I've heard that there's been more communication from a very reliable source. Okay. Reference issues with the 2024 and or 2025 budgets. I am requesting all emails and replies. The requested information is in the form of public interest is public interest and will significantly contribute to the public's understanding of the Delaware County government. This will help foster communication and transparency and allow for appropriate accountability for all involved. The Indiana Public Access Record request requires a response. If the access to records I'm requesting will take longer, please contact me with information about when I might expect copies or the ability to inspect the requested records. If you deny any or all of this request, please cite each specific exemption you feel justifies the refusal to release the information and notify me of the appeal procedures available to me under the law. Thank you very much. And I send this out at 9:38 a.m. And then I receive a response from Mr. Matt Kantz. Councilor Matt Kantz at 2 o'clock on Friday, the 22nd. And the response that I received from Matt Kantz goes as follows. I know you already have this, so I'm not sure what you're crying about. Thank you, Matt Kantz. Now, let me tell you. Kantz and I have this like on again, off again, love, hate, love relationship. And I'm not sure what he's dealing with in his life. I don't know, he don't know what's going on in mine. I'm stressed out, got a lot of things going on. I'm burning the candle at all ends. I'm human. I realize that he might be doing the same thing. But let me tell you something. When after dealing with these people and having it up to here, I'll tell you, this is the response that broke the snap that broke the camel's back. When I get back a request or a response from from Cance that says, I know you already have. So first of all, no, I do not have any emails from Ed Carroll after the 18th of November. So first of all, you know exactly shit, Matt Cance. You know shit. You know that I have an email from the 18th. But you are not aware that I have anything afterwards. I don't have anything afterwards. So either your reading comprehension sucks, and you also need to work on that too, or you need to quit assuming. I'm going to tell you what his problem is. And this is, I wrote him back. We're not done yet. Oh yeah, I wrote him back. We're going to get to that. Here's the thing I think. I think he heard that I said that Jessica sucks. And that's something that all of them, other than Ryan, they have to protect the queen. They'll come after anybody if you go after the queen. And so he's defending his council president's honor and the rest of them. And see, he's one of those guys that does not realize he loves politics. And he loves to say a lot of shit about Democrats. He loves to say a lot about the Republicans that we don't like on the national level and the Republicans at the state level. He'll call people out. But then he don't like it turned on him. Now, he thinks that nothing should be turned on him because he's doing the best he could do. Okay, great. I'm glad the First Amendment doesn't stop and start with Matt Cance. I'm glad that I have a right to call him out and to redress my grievances with him. And I'm glad that they don't stop me and throw me in jail for saying that Matt Cance and Jessica suck at doing their jobs. I'm glad that the First Amendment allows me to write that. Now, let me be very clear before I get the hate from the other side. Yeah. The First Amendment also gives him the ability to say, I don't get what you're crying about. But we do need to remember that he does work for me. He works for all of you. And, you know, the thing is, he's acting in his official capacity here, though, so that is something that needs to be thought of. But the other thing is, and this is the thing that, and you'll hear about this here in a moment, but keep in mind here, first of all, he ran on improving communication. So does he really feel like he is improving communication? He could tell that I was wrapped up and riled up. Did he try to diffuse the situation at all?
Question.
Yeah.
Didn't the council pass a while back some rules of decorum?
I think they did.
I think they did too.
I think they did.
I think talking this way to a constituent might be violating their rules of decorum.
Absolutely. And what's funny about what she's saying there is, if and when I tell him that, well, you're violating your decorum rules, he's going to be like, well, you told me I sucked first. Yeah, yes, I did. I am not part of your decorum rules. Now, yes, I should treat you all in a respectful manner. You get more bees with honey, but I can't give any more. The hive is sucked dry. I got no more honey to give. It's all sting now. And you might not like it. So there's the door. It's not like you might not like it, so something else. You might not like it. And if you don't, there's the door. Matt Kantz, you can resign. What blows my mind is he spent the last year and a half campaigning for Stephen Brand. Is this a response that Stephen Brand would be proud of? Does he believe that Stephen Brand would respond this way? I don't think he does. I know Stephen Brand wouldn't. And I know Stephen Brand might not tell Kantz this, but I think Stephen Brand would say, I'm kind of disappointed that he would respond to you this way. I'm going to tell you, I've talked to all kinds of people about this, and they're like, dude, why does he always kind of off kilter? This is like when I stepped up to the podium and called the council out at that meeting, and then he took shots at me, and he came on the show, and he thought that he served me. Nothing happened. He was in the wrong then, too. I was redressing the government, letting them know I thought that they were in the wrong, and they continue to be in the wrong. He continues to be in the wrong. I still hold hope for him. But it's quickly dwindling by his own actions. Okay? So I understand that he doesn't like when I'm harsh with them, and he feels that I need to give them away, but you know, I can't give and 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 give. So when I got this at 2 something on Friday, after being busy and just right up to having all I could take with it, I snapped. And I sent back an email that probably wasn't that polite. Yeah, they passed it. They passed it because they're afraid. So, I mean, nothing can come of it. Nothing can happen from it. You can't stop people from being elected officials. The only way to stop someone from being an elected official is if they commit a felony, if they die, or if they move, or if they're found guilty of committing a felony. So, I mean, it's all for show. So, I mean, there's nothing that can happen with it, but it's just the point that, yeah, he did. I think he might have actually voted against it. He might have voted against it, matter of fact. So I'll give him credit for voting against it. Whatever. They still did it. Okay. So I snapped and I sent back a message after getting that. And listen, I'm not proud. I'm not proud of the message I sent back. I'm going to tell that. And that's why I went a weave and a wobble and went around the long side of the barn to get to this, to tell you, like, I'm not proud of the message I sent him back. But, you know, you shit on somebody for so long, you push a dog into a cage and you don't feed and you poke and you prod and you don't give any kind of love or affection. You know, you're going to get bit sometimes. You know what I mean? And he got bit. And, you know, the dog then was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he's cool, but he still got bit. So I send a response back to him. I sent it to all of them. I said, this is a reply to Matt Kantz. You're a rude son of a bitch. I sent an email to 7 elected officials this morning asking about the possibility of several emails and letting some of the 7 of you know that your communication needs improvement. And you, elected public servant Matt Kantz, reply by saying, I know you already have this, so I'm not sure what you're crying about. Well, I'm crying because I sent an email out on Monday to 7 elected officials that are supposed to be public servants. But per usual, due to most of you being self-important, You all must have assumed there was no need to respond. That was wrong. Now let's clear up the other issues in your reply to me. You're aware that I have 3 emails that I've published. And while I'm actually requesting more than that, it doesn't matter what you think or that you're aware of. That does not negate the legal record request, nor does it mean no response is needed. Like, for example, maybe you could have emailed to double check what exactly I had or needed. But the biggest issue is now your rude ass response to the email from today. Matt, it was rude, period. In fact, there are no more emails other. In fact, if in fact there are no more emails other than what I have, what an appropriate response from you and the other 6 would or could have been, I'm sorry, Mr. Bilbrey, or I'm sorry, Chris, or I'm sorry, Bilbrey, or I'm even cool with you calling me an asshole if you feel the need. But then you should respond with, there are no more emails responsive to this request. That would have been an appropriate response to Monday's email. The appropriate response to today's email could have been replying with the documents requested, or saying that there were no documents to be had, or sending a response telling me that you'll look through everything and see what that you might have, or that you'll pass on the request to your attorney. And if you wanted to respond to my complaint about the council's communications issues, you could have told me why you think that I'm wrong, because you reply every time, which is not true. Or you could have said, I'm sorry you feel that way. Since I can only speak for myself, I will try to work on doing better. Or any other number of appropriate replies. But for you to send me back this fucking shitty email was honestly, it wasn't honestly, but for you to send me back this fucking shitty email when honestly, I wasn't even truly aiming at you. As you can read in the morning's email, I said you do respond hit and miss. So that's better than some. But this is the problem. Overall, you guys lack the understanding of the importance of communication, even though you ran on better communication, Matt. Also, I know that you're aware of the crazy shit going on in county government, but rather than pointing out some of your outrage to that where it belongs, you sit with your thumbs up your ass, holding on to your tongue until you feel that you can smart off to me. Not anymore. I don't know. Maybe you're just having a bad day. I don't know what you've got going on in your personal life that has you in this mood. Or maybe you're just embarrassed by how crazy things have been in county government. But your reply to me was fucking unprofessional. Ask yourself, would you have responded to anyone else like that? If the answer is no, then you were wrong. If the answer is yes, well, you were still wrong. You're a public servant, pal. If you can't handle appropriate communication through email and or any other form, then you need to step down. You just supported Brand for commissioner over the last year. Let me ask you, Matt, was your response a response that he would approve of or be proud of? Do better or don't, but I hope that you can. And again, make sure everyone else is aware. In my email from this morning, I said, Councilor Webb does a pretty good job at responding, as does Councilor Hughes. Councilor Kantz does hit and miss, but his shitty reply here has him on my shit list now. As for the other councilors, your communication needs improvement. Get it figured out. So that's what I sent to him Friday afternoon. And, I probably could have been a little bit more professional, but I'm also okay with that because that was me redressing my government at a time that my government was extremely rude and letting me down, had been letting me down. It was a continued pattern of behavior from these guys. And the hit and miss catty bullshit that Matt Kantz does with me. I don't know why. Here's the thing. Matt and I are friendly enough. I think that he thinks that maybe this was a joke that went awry, and that he thinks that he can joke with me like this. Let me tell you, I would maybe like to have a relationship with Matt where that could be true. But because of his weird ass bullshit like this, I don't think that I have that relationship with him. So if he wants to try to build a relationship where we can kind of listen, I got no problem at taking shots from my friends, but you're not going to be just a person out here in the world that's an elected official and taking shots and being rude after not being able to effectively do your job when it comes to communication, and be able to treat me this way and think that it's going to fly. The other thing is, who else is he doing this to? Who else are they doing this to? Want me to tell you something? I know that the Delaware County Council is bad at not communicating with a lot of elected officials. So Friday was the day that I pushed back. Now, I will say, I will apologize to Matt and to all of the council members for my email. Okay, I will apologize at its tone. I'm not apologizing for sending it. The day that I sent that, the day that you got it, the day that you read it, the reading that I think that you suck at communication, that's all true. You do. You do. And so that's what you get. Do better at your job or quit. Those are your choices. All right. I do want to say this. Matt responded to my email in, honestly, a more condescending, rude ass way. Like, he's obviously doubling down. So this now will cause me to go and address them on the record in the meeting on Tuesday. I'll be there and we'll talk about this on record in the meeting in front of everybody. And just preparing Jessica out there, I will be polite and respectful, but you're not going to like my tone, I'm sure. I'll do my very best to be on my best behavior language-wise, because I understand that there are mixed company women and children that watch, so I will do my best. But I'm just telling you, and let me explain something to them this time. Sometimes I come asking questions and I want a response. And in this situation, I don't want a response from you. Matter of fact, I'm telling you now accordingly, I'm coming to let you know, I'm coming to redress the government. I'm coming to speak and let you know, and I don't need to hear any extra bullshit afterwards. If you don't like something that I say, get on your social media and post about it or do something else. But don't take up county business to smart off to me after, only and unless I get a rebuttal to your response. Only unless I speak, you speak, and then once you speak, I can give a rebuttal to it. But don't let me sit down or have me sit down and then give someone the floor to smart off about something I say and think I'm not going to speak. Because I'll speak from where I sit if that's the case. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm going to be polite. Everything's going to be fine. But I don't have, there's lots of times I don't have this issue with counsel. I don't have this issue with Nora Powell. Think about this. I don't have this problem with Nora Powell. Why would that be? Matt and I even agree on a lot of things. And Nora Powell does not treat me like this. So, Matt, figure it out, get your head out of your ass, or step down. But I'm going to let you know listen, I'm not going to take steps to de-escalate the mess that you continue making. You can take steps to de-escalate this, or I can be an enemy of yours from now until your election in 2 years. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right, I'm going to read Matt's response here, and we're getting ready to wrap her up. Matt sent me back an email that says, I'm sorry you didn't care for my response. Regardless, if I read through the diatribe below, you've received what you've requested. So I think the problem here is the dude can't read. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe he's good with numbers, but he can't read. No, I have not got what I've requested. I received 3 emails that are all dated November 18th, you knob. Count with me here, Matt. 19. Okay, then all right. So count with me. I received an email on the 18th. Okay. But I still need an email from the 19th, from the 20th, and from the 21st, and the 22nd. You understand? I'm missing my emails from the 19th, the 20th, 21st, and the 22nd. All right. So I don't think that you have completely understood what I'm requesting. So I think that's the issue. If I read through the diatribe below, you've received what you've requested. No. And in fact, already had them in possession, and there were no other emails exist to this request. So now, if he's telling me, and there are no other emails that request that exist to this request, that's something I'm learning out. This is something he could have told me without that smart ass response. It's amazing to me that he couldn't have just told me this. Now, this is where I think this is the biggest problem I have. He goes on and he says, there's obviously a disconnect on what you think is appropriate behavior, since you don't seem to be policing your own behavior towards myself or any. Who are you? Who are you? Oh, you're my employee who has continued to let me down over and over and over and over? You're fired. How can I do that? Can I do this? Can I tell you you're fired, and to go, instead of going to HR, go to the clerk's office, turn your letter in, and walk out of the office? Will you do that? If I don't have the ability to fire you, you're going to hear what I think until you're out of office. How about that? I have policed my behavior towards you and the other shitty elected officials for the last several years. He doesn't, and it's all because I told him they suck. You obviously, there's a disconnect in what you think's appropriate behavior, since you're not policing your own behavior towards myself or any other elected officials when you tell them they suck. Sir, quit sucking. I don't know what else to tell you.
For some reason, I don't think he would have an issue if you had gotten on here and you had said, by the way, I think that Kamala Harris sucks.
Oh, no. That would have been fine. No. It would absolutely been fine.
That would have been fine.
I could have trashed Kamala.
That Beckworth, shit doesn't stink, but Braun sucks.
Yeah, he would be fine with that.
That would be fine too.
Mm-hmm. He'd be fine with that. He would be fine with me talking about Jennifer McCormick. Maybe he would like me saying Ryan's an idiot. Ryan should be quiet, or Ryan should bow down before. I don't know. There's lots of things that he would be okay with. And when, listen, this guy's not like the churchy going, like he's not like he's foul-mouthed himself. So, this is the pot calling the kettle black here, sir. You're not like the beacon of virtue. I don't think that you when living in glass houses. And I think that what's funny about this is that's the whole thing about what I'm requesting this from. What I heard happened in an email between Ed and the department heads was Ed Carroll saying, I don't think that the department heads should be making accusations when they live in glass houses. And I want that email or whatever that communication is that exists, or I want to hear in what form that communication happened. Because that's what I'm being told was said in an email. Matt's telling me it doesn't exist. Okay, maybe he wasn't a part of it. That's the reason I sent all 7 of them. Number 1, and most importantly, Matt also needs to not not make accusations when living in a glass house. I do not believe he's the beacon of virtue. Your most recent response using vulgarity and name calling. No elected official, volunteer, or human being, for that matter, deserves to be talked to in that way. Then do better. 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 Make it not happen, Matt. You hold the key, sir. Then he goes on to ignorantly make another claim. I received a total of 2 FOIA requests. Matt, you've never learn what you're doing here, bro. You're not a United States senator. You're not the president of the United States. I have never in my life, never once in my life have I ever sent you an FOIA. I have sent you a couple APRA requests, which he goes on. I think that's what he means. I've received a total of 2 APRA requests from you in my 2 years on council. The first of which was responded to by someone else, and this that I responded to, despite the fact that you already publicly released the emails that you were asking for. No, sir, you're not understanding. I'm asking for different emails. Are you having a problem reading? Furthermore, it is not up to you to worry about what another elected official sent me. Third of all, what I am bitching about is not that you respond or don't respond to APRA requests, as you ignorantly called them FOIA requests. What I am saying is you don't respond to emails. I have sent you more than 2 emails. And if you're saying that I have not sent you more than 2 emails, prove that, or otherwise you're lying. I have sent you far more than 2 emails, and you have responded to less than any of them, to less than all of them, excuse me. So unless you can explain why you would not respond to my emails as an elected official, let me tell you this. For as bad as Ryan sucks and he's mean and whatever, how can Ryan respond to everybody, but you all lot can't seem to do that? Why is that? How is that? How can mean old bad, dumbass, horrible, bad, stupid Ryan respond to emails, but Jessica can't, or you can't, or Mokel can't? Why is that? You can't be better than Ryan? Good Lord. Funny enough, he then says, best wishes to you and yours this Thanksgiving. And I say this very same to you and yours, Matt. I mean, look, I don't hate this guy. I just don't like what he's doing. You know, I wish him all the best. Now, funnily enough, I didn't get this email until later. And this all happened Friday. What's comical to me is, and we're going to end on this. After he sent the email, but I didn't respond, he sent that to me. Let me tell you what time he sent that to me. He sent that to me at 4 o'clock on Friday. Okay. But after he sent that to me at 4 o'clock on Friday, he then sent me a half an hour later a message through Messenger. Now, wait a minute. You can message me through Messenger, but you won't come on, you won't send me an email? Like, I don't get it, bro. He says on Messenger, I'm happy to have this conversation on your program. Send me an invite and I'll try to make it work. First of all, I don't work on Friday and Saturday unless it's big news. And Matt, I'm sorry, you're not that big of news. And I don't understand. I can't, like, my communication sucks in email, but I'm willing to come on a platform and talk to you about this. That's so weird. But then the other weird thing that there is, and this is like why he's like the mean, like, little kid that likes the girl in second grade and he pulls her hair, and he like, he you know, I don't know if that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to tell me that he likes me or whatever. Like, dude, you know, buy me flowers or something, bro. I don't respond to this type of flirting. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I only like it rough if I know you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't give you permission here, dude. So what's strange is yesterday, Saturday at 1:45, Councilor Ryan Webb made this post. This says, if you are one of these people cutting off friends and family members because of how they voted, then you are an idiot and you deserve to spend Thanksgiving alone. All right. Now, whatever. I'm not talking about, no need to go crazy about the post. We get it. All right. I'm not talking about that. What's funny is after this post, in the comments, Matt Kant says, does cutting off Christopher H. Bilbrey count? Dude, what? Like, what kind of deal has he got going on here? He's like, like, he's got one of those plants, those flowers, and he's like, he loves me not. He loves me not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, dude. I think after all of this, it's like he's trying to be playful, but build a relationship, bro. I don't know you like this. I don't have a relationship with you that I have with Rose Selvey, or that I have, with Troy, or right, Kate. Like, build a relationship. Quit looking at me like I'm the pariah because I call you all out. I get it. It's not comfortable. Just do the right thing. Communicate. And moreover, I don't give a damn what you do to me, but this diatribe is because I'm not the only person. They're doing this to the public. That's my problem. I can take it, do it, whatever. I can find it back, whatever. But they're doing it to the public, and that is an issue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end. Listen, I don't know. Maybe there'll be more. I don't know if this is to be continued. I am going to the Delaware County Council meeting that will be this Tuesday, November 26th, 2024 at 9 a.m. If I can talk Kate into pushing the button at 9, we'll probably live stream it on the channel. And we'll see what goes on. How do you like your trunk shrimp, Matt? Maybe that's it. Maybe he's had a bad case of trunk shrimp. That's a very good possibility. I hear it's been going around, and so that's a very good possibility that he got a bad batch of trunk shrimp from City Hall. So yeah, who knows? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. They just need to do better. All elected officials everywhere need to do better, and, do better. Just do better. Communicate. It's part of the job. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm just letting you know that after so long, you're going to start getting it back. Now, this will reset and will be professional from here moving forward. I mean, I am going to address the council on Tuesday, and it might get a little, but, we'll try to be cool. I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with it. So do better, and there'll be no problem. All right, you guys, please hit the like on your way out. We will see you back here tomorrow, Monday, the 27th. Hey, that's my he's older than Jake, younger than me. That's Andrew's birthday tomorrow. I'll have to get a hold of him. He's the one in Italy. So, all right, you guys, see you back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will see you all then. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday night, what's left of it. Have a good start to the work week tomorrow, Monday, and we will see you back here tomorrow night. God bless. Take care. Goodbye.